So are we gonna do like an intro or just kind of hop into
You can
it?
just hop into it this time.
Okay, so why do you hate us?
Oh, Panda's back, by the way.
Oh yes.
Panda's back.
Friend.
All right, so let's try this again. AP.
Let's try this again.
Yes.
Okay. So Shot.
What's up, AP?
Why do you hate us? Us meaning vegetarians, non-meat eaters.
Oh, I'm gonna get flamed in the comment section.
So funny.
So,
Uh-huh.
this is the emotional side of me. I think me and meat have an emotional connection. These are one of the few things I love more than people.
You love anything more than people, honestly. But
Don't tell them that.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, so I think some people get mad about some certain things. They get real passionate about it. I think me and meat is one of those things. I just don't understand why y'all don't like it. But that's not what it is. And then I've been through experiences before where I got in trouble for saying my views on like the meat eating versus vegan or vegetarian lifestyle.
In trouble with whom? I don't think it's that big of a deal, but
You don't think it's that big of a deal?
I personally don't think it's that big of a deal.
I just know. Now I keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
Now I no longer. If I hear you're vegetarian, or if you say you're vegetarian and vegan, I'm just like, I got nothing to say to you.
Okay.
Keep my mouth shut. But when I used to voice my opinion,
Okay.
I was very biased. I'm very biased. I can't change my view on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm biased in the sense that you can't convince me to be vegetarian or vegan.
Right.
Like kind of like a commercial almost got me yesterday. Like they had this like vegan chicken that look and taste like chicken. I was like, I can go vegan if y'all can make me meat that tastes like meat.
Not meat.
Oh, non-meat that tastes like meat and there's no side effects. If there's side effects, just like me eating normal meat, I'm eat the normal stuff. That's just how I feel about it. And I told you the story last time where like in the Seventh Adventist church, I tried vegetarian meat for the first time, and this is horrible. It looked like real meat, but it don't taste like real meat. And then the effects are like too much sodium in it, right? Is that
something like that?
yeah?
It depends.
Yeah, it's like
cooking it.
yeah, there's too much something in it. I'm just like, this is gonna kill me early if I eat too much of this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, might as well just eat the meat that's gonna kill me anyway. Mm-hmm. So all people claim the meat kills you, everything kills you. That's also my thing with eating. No, don't eat this. You don't eat that thing that you like to eat so much. Then like everything kills you guys. Like everything kills you. There's something wrong with something that we're eating, drinking, or breathing. If the air. You watching a YouTube video the other day from ASAP Science, a YouTube channel. If you live in a highly dense like city with like a lot of cars and stuff like that and factories, it actually kills you earlier. And I was like, what? Like no one like thought to tell anyone this. No one wanted to spread this data. Oh, because we're all gonna move out. That's what y'all were, the money aspect. I'm like, that's so evil. You know what I mean? So if you live in the city, you are gonna die earlier than someone that doesn't live in the city because the air is so bad quality.
Why are you scaring them?
Because no one wants to hear the truth. They want to be, you know what I mean? Because they want to tell me, oh, you eat meat, you're gonna die early. You're gonna die early, you vegetarian in the city. You feel me? So this is actually I get passionate sometimes. Because like I get pissed. People tell me, oh, eating meat's bad for you. Then I'm like, what about the other 18 things you do that's so bad for you?
Right.
Literally, do you exercise daily? No. Well, you're killing yourself now. Oh, you drink coffee. Well, there you go. You're dehydrating yourself. You know what I mean? There's so many things that people like to eat or consume that they all have negatives when eating it too much of or whatever, yada yada. So that's just me. That's why I learned to just, when vegetarians come after me and vegans, I just say, I let them talk and I don't say nothing. I'm gonna hurt some feelings.
Right.
And then I'm gonna get very passionate very quickly. Like, don't come after me. I won't go after you. I can easily convince you what you're eating is stupid and, and vice versa. It just that's not gonna work. It's all emotion. I think what we choose to eat is majority emotional, unless you're that logical to the sense you choose the healthiest way. But we all like that one thing we can't get rid of. Like I got Takis right there, ready to eat, and I know it's not the best thing for me, but they're just so good. They're just so good, So yeah, and I'm a fitness guy, and people think that being fit means you got to eat healthy 24/7. That is a lie. None of us eat healthy 24/7 unless you're on crack.
That wouldn't be the healthiest either.
Yeah. So okay. How about this? Why are you vegetarian?
Honestly, me being me and my cousin, we started doing it just to see if we could do it.
Easy.
So we don't really fall in that category of like trying to tell people to do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like whatever. Like,
Yeah.
she brings up the point that like the fact, for example, like we used to eat chicken a lot, like it was part of our like meal prep regimen and stuff like that. And she was like, the fact that you have to go through like so much cleaning to make sure you don't get parasites and like get sick, it's like, let's not do it. But I personally, like, I don't care. Like, I did it because I wanted to see if I could do it, and I saw I could do it, so here I am still doing it. Yeah, like, if I could live without it, I'm not gonna do it. That's really what it's been. And I remember when I was stuck back home, and I like, cause my mom, all she makes is meat, so I had to start eating meat. I was like,
Asian household.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to keep buying groceries just to survive, so I'll just eat whatever's at the house. Meat doesn't taste the same. Like it doesn't hit the same the way it used to. It's like, oh, so I truly don't need this.
She don't cook it right.
So no, like she's a great cook. It was just, I guess, going so many months because we had started July 2020 and I was at home December 2020, and I guess that time span, it was like, oh, meat ain't all that. Like, it tasted good, but it wasn't like, oh my god, I can't go back. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it was.
I don't
for
know
me.
what you're saying,
and
but I don't need
and like
to.
I don't care like when other people eat meat. Like, eat whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. And what else? There was something else you said, and I was like, what the hell? Like when people cook meat in my presence, I'm just like, I know it tastes good and I know it smells good. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I knew this one girl who was vegetarian, and we were in this army program together. And one of the things that we have to do is, like, if we have, like, how do I explain this without explaining too much? So, okay, I was also on the drill team. I was one of the drill captains. Whenever we had a competition, afterwards we would eat, like, burgers and hot dogs and stuff like that. And so somebody would be designated to clean up after everyone. She cried because she was told to clean, like, the burgers and the hot dog stuff. And I was like, you're dramatic. So I know people like that exist. And there are people who are like, oh, meat is bad for you. Everything's bad for you.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's not why I don't eat.
That,
Again,
that argument
if I don't
is so
have
stupid.
if I don't have to, I'm not going to. Because there are also unhealthy vegans and vegetarians.
Everywhere.
I've been eating unhealthy too. Like, it's just not meat.
I get pissed when they be like, oh, being vegan and being vegetarian is healthier. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not healthier. I don't know where.
I guess I want to say, like, in hindsight, like, maybe eating meat would kill you faster because your heart can't take it, and like scientifically speaking, our system isn't built to be breaking down meat. So in that sense, sure, whatever. But I wouldn't say it's like healthier in that, oh my god, you should be vegetarian because you'll live longer.
Nah, yeah. Being vegetarian and still die early.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So it's not that serious.
How about you, Panda? What's your view on the vegetarian meat situation?
I personally, like, I don't, like, have a strong passion towards one side or the other, right? Like, I'm always open to, like, more, like, vegetarian options. Like, I'll always see, like...
I know, I agree.
I'll always see stuff like, oh, like, this is, like, a vegetarian substitute. Like, you could try, like, using crispy tofu instead of, like, can you stop for, like, 5 minutes?
You good, bro. You good.
Anyway.
Tofu's a trigger word of mine.
You've had the wrong person cook it. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway. But, like, you know, like, using crispy tofu as a protein in, like, a salad or something instead of, because, like, you know, I'll usually, like, put chicken. Like, chicken and fish are, like, my main proteins, that kind of thing. And so, like, I would be open to, like, using it differently if I knew how to, like, properly cook it, that kind of thing. Like, would I ever...
Wait, so you actually would cook with tofu if you know how to use it?
Yeah.
I would say it's probably one of the most, like, hit or miss proteins to cook. Because, I don't know, it's something about, like, making sure the right amount of water is squeezed out.
Yeah. Like, especially with, like, firm tofu.
Yeah,
or, like,
firm versus not. Like,
yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah, like, the recipes that I've seen have been, like, using, like, firm tofu, squeeze out all the water, and then season it with, like an adobo seasoning mix, that kind of thing. So I was just like, oh, like, that seems really interesting. Like, it was this cooking page called Shek Eats, where he has like vegan and vegetarian options as well as like meat options, that kind of thing. So like whenever I see like his like recipes or like the videos that he makes, like I always want to like try them, you know, just to see like if I would actually like it, that kind of thing. But you, AP, with your being like with you being like flexible as like a vegetarian, like whenever you like go to like a party or you know like when you go back, like how you were saying, like when you went back home, like you ate meat because like it was what was there. Like when you like go to parties or like family functions, like is that what you do? Like you just like
no.
Like so like do you starve when you go to these functions?
Not necessarily starve. There's always some non-meat thing. So like you know like the one of the staples for Haitians is like rice and sauce or rice and something called legume. Just have the rice, bro. Or like bring our own stuff. That's what me and Jessica started doing. Like we'll like meal prep here before we go down south to make sure we have our like everything that we need, so that I'm not down there like eating out or anything like that. What other thing? There's always like if a party or something, there's chips or something. Like there's always something to hold us for the time being.
Do they feel some type of way when you bring something there?
No, they more feel some type of way because they didn't consider that they would be non-meat eaters.
Yeah, it's always that.
Yeah, they're not like, oh, you don't want to eat my food. It's more like, oh my God, you don't eat meat.
Okay. Because if I've had some like Hispanic and Filipino friends like have to deal with that like when they go somewhere to like family parties, and like, oh my God, why aren't you eating? Like, we prepared so much food for you. Like, you're so disrespectful. And it's just like, I'm sorry. Like, this is just like how I'm choosing to live my life. Like, I just don't want to consume meat. It's like, oh my God, we can't cater everything for you. Just eat it. That kind of thing. And like, they'll just make a scene out of it.
Yeah.
Really?
The Haitians don't do that.
Sometimes they do.
That's crazy. I've never seen a Haitian family do that.
No, I've never seen it either, or I've never interacted with.
Well, then again, I'm biased 'cause I'm 7-day, cause like that was a trend that we had going on for a while, but that quickly died. Yeah, ain't no trend no more. That's interesting. That's funny. That's cool.
And I know one of your arguments is that it doesn't taste good, and I'm like, you need to find the right chef.
That's my thing. Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. It's emotional thing. If y'all make it taste, like I said, if you make it taste like meat,
like you had
I'm
my
sold.
shepherd's pie, you were sold, right?
Listen.
He got up and like was shook. He was like, wait a minute. He put the plate down. He got up, looked at the plate. This not me. So, backtrack, come back real quick. Jessica makes some really good tofu. So if you want to try any of her dishes, I'll make sure you try it out, because I know you said you want to see what it's supposed to taste like. But
yeah, so AP had made this shepherd's pie, and I tried it, and I was confused what I was eating. I was like, I had to pause and look at it and just be like, she's messing with me. Where the food coloring at? Like, you know what I mean? Like I was like, nah, bro, there's no way. It tastes just like meat. And it was really good. I was
What did you use? What did you use?
It was actually, it was like plant protein.
Oh, okay.
What's plant protein?
Plant protein. Made of plants, like lentils.
Just plant-based stuff.
Yeah.
So like beef jerky, but made from plants?
No, just literally the plant. I don't know what you want me to say, or I don't know what you're asking.
Like what did it look like before you cook it?
It looks like ground beef.
Was it like Beyond Meat or something?
It wasn't. It was what is it called? Something Life. I can't think of the name right now.
Oh, so it looked like meat before you cooked it. Okay, that's why I was confused. You say plant protein, I'm like, what?
It was made of plant. That's what it's made of.
No.
If you look in the ingredients.
I get that, but I'm trying to imagine what it looked like before you cooked it.
It
So I thought,
brown.
was it a plant and you turned it into that? That's why I was like, what?
It's crazy too, because like I work at
check it out.
I work at a food place. Yes, and so they recently put out a new like protein, and it's a plant-based chorizo, and like it's like our new like food item that we put out, that kind of thing. I haven't tried it yet, but the way it looks kind of whack. It honestly looks a little bit whack. I don't know. I've heard some people say that it's kind of like it's kind of spicy, but like it's kind of good, and I'm just like, I'll have to try that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing too. Sometimes when I see some plant-based stuff, be looking kind of not appetizing.
Yeah, I'll admit that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, man, I try to make it look like real. Like your thing, I looked at it, I'm like, I'm looking for something wrong with it. I'm like, where is the weird bean or something that I'm like, that's what it is. But I don't know. It's tough to be vegetarian, man. It's tough, especially with the world how it is. If you travel to other countries, I ain't gonna say the country.
Oh yeah, I said that. I was like, the only time that I would like not really care for it is if I'm traveling a different place, because I don't want to limit myself. What if the best dish is a meat dish? What am I gonna say? No.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing. The country that I mentioned that I wanted to travel to, in that country, it's very hard to be vegetarian because they literally.
You said it's very what?
Hard to be vegetarian.
Hard.
They don't do.
I thought like those countries were mainly like vegetarian, honestly. But okay.
It's very. You're thinking about monks.
No, I mean, honestly, I thought that's why everyone was so thin, because they didn't like eat.
No, that's why they're thin.
What?
Because they eat a lot of protein. That's another. I'm gonna debunk that now. So if you eat a lot of meat, you actually tend to be skinnier than if you eat a lot of carbs. Plants, fruits, vegetables, rice, all that stuff. That's all carbs. You can get fat off of eating fruit and vegetables. It's been done before. Like literally, we have athletes that do that stuff all the time. But then people think if I eat a bunch of meat, I'm gonna get big, muscular, and buff. No, in actuality, if you eat a lot of meat, it doesn't mean you're gonna get bigger. Like that's a weird misconception that happens a lot. So countries that have a high protein diet actually tend to be skinnier because the key to losing fat is actually protein consumption. That's why Japan, they're very thin. Their diet is like sushi and like a lot of like meat stuff. The point is that the culture is very pro meat. I have multiple friends that tell me if you go vegetarian over there, it's tough. Restaurants don't give a crap. You really just you cook 24/7. That Beyond Meat stuff, it's gonna be hard to find that over there. Cause they're like, why would I buy Beyond? Just get the real thing. If you're vegetarian, then eat the meat. I don't understand why you. You know what I mean? I get that too, but but I'm in America, so it's different here. A lot of y'all eat like the fake meat stuff, but then there's like, why you can't just eat the real meat if you want to? There's a process in the old school brain. So I'm like, I get that, but that's also my parents too. Like a lot of our generation parents, they don't get the vegetarian thing, and I don't get it either. But I get it, but I wouldn't do it. There we go. I get it, but I wouldn't do it. So it's like a generation thing as well. But yeah, that's why they're skinny. It's not they eat plants. They actually eat a lot of protein. Yeah. And they eat vegetarian stuff, but they also eat a lot of meat over there. Like, you know who I'm talking about. One of our friends, that girl is one of the skinniest girls that we know, and she eats. I've seen her eat. She eats a lot of meat. She always posted on her IG meat everywhere. I'm just like, wow. And she's one of the thinnest of like most of our like dancer friends. They eat a lot of meat. Or like I trained one girl. Same thing. Like she maintained her thinness, and she actually got more thin when I made her eat more protein and stuff like that. People just are just scared to eat protein for some reason because they think they'll get hulky. I'm like, who the heck know that Hulk? Like that that just tells you this, But yeah, so that's another misconception. So overall, I think the biggest thing for me against the meat. Oh my gosh,
it's stuck.
My biggest argument that I used to say back when I cared about sharing my opinion about this was that a lot of vegetarians and vegans are actually unhealthy. Because the protein, it's always the protein consumption is like my biggest fight. If you can eat, I told her this too, AP. If you can eat enough protein with your plant-based diet, I have nothing to say to you. I literally shocked. I'm shook. If you need, like, you win. Right. You win. But so many vegetarians literally don't eat enough protein. And that's like the main issue of it when you switch over like that. Some doctors, and I have a friend too, and she went to the doctor and they said you cannot be vegetarian anymore because you have proven that you cannot eat protein and you are gonna have all these health problems if you don't eat protein. Like she was deficient in protein to the point that she was like sick, and because she was eating vegetarian, and they're like, nah, stop that. You're not eating protein. Like where they don't want to take the shakes. They don't want to. Eat the fake meat, obviously. They just don't like eating meat in general, so they have to force themselves not to eat meat because it's a high source of protein because they don't like eating overall. You know what I mean? Imagine someone that doesn't like to eat, you tell them, okay, get your protein from like vegetarian stuff. You either got to take protein shakes or you got to eat a lot of stuff, and you already don't like to eat that much, and now you're like protein deficient, you know. And then there's that, and then stuff like that. I know we had that argument before. You said it's not that much, right?
It's not. Like, you just find like protein dense foods and you're good. Like, that's the way I've been able to finally reach my 100 mark. I'm like, oh, no, it's only like 3 meals a day. I'm chilling. Like, I have my protein powder that helps like cover like 30 grams of that, and I put hemp seeds. That's 10. So that's already like a 40 grams in the morning. And then like seitan is seitan is this like is a meat alternative as well. It doesn't have any soy, so that's better for you. The thing you were saying that had like too much sodium, I think you meant too much soy. Too much soy is like good for your reproductive system.
What?
I can't tell you exactly what it does to you, but that's the main effect that it has. It's bad for your reproductive system. So that's why like the ground beef thing or the ground meat thing that I was telling you about is soy free. It's like Beyond Meat is an alternative, but it has too much soy in it. So I think they were getting a lot of like like
that was true. I did hear about that.
Whiplash from that.
Yeah. Cause like to make these meats you need to use soy apparently.
Not all of them, but yes.
Yeah.
Like tofu is soybeans, so that's why it's a lot of soy. Or what else? What else is like tempeh also is soybeans. So too much soy. Too much soy is not good for you, but too much of anything isn't good for you. But yeah, like brown rice and quinoa together is like 10 plus seitan. That's already another 30 grams. I'm already done in the first half of my day, and I just chill for the rest of the day. I mean, I eat, but I don't have to pay attention to how much protein I'm eating.
That's the thing, because like that's why I think that was the thing that I realized. Like people that go on vegetarian and vegan diets, even before they went vegetarian and vegan, they already weren't even thinking about their protein consumption. So now that they took out the meat, they just eat what they normally do, just no meat, and their protein levels just drop dramatically below average. And they don't even consider it. And like, you know, once they're aware, if they try, they'll do it. But then people don't try.
Yeah,
they just
I didn't know it like would make you ill. I didn't know it.
Yeah,
I mean, luckily it didn't happen to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it would make you ill to have like no protein.
or like I think she was iron deficient.
That too.
Oh.
Yeah, it makes you iron deficient because like you don't get iron from. You do get iron from.
You get iron. The issue is no vitamin D. I don't know if any meat sources help you with vitamin D, but if you don't have vitamin D, you can't absorb folic acid, which is good for you.
Then that's the thing that kind of starts happening is people that go vegetarian and vegan, they're not aware of the health stuff. They kind of like, oh, if I do this, I'll be healthier. Ignore they have no knowledge of nutrition, no knowledge of anything. They kind of just eat whatever, and then they become unhealthier than before because they took all the protein. They're literally missing a bunch of vitamins now, and it's like, or like fat. Do you get fat from that stuff?
Yeah, I reach the amount that I'm supposed to get.
Like, because the soybeans has fat in it, right?
Beans in general, yes.
Yeah, okay, so that's not an issue. It's just overall just the vitamin stuff. That's people won't notice at first because they feel fine at first or different, and they're different. Like, oh, this is a good different. And it's like, no, it's not a good different. You just don't know what good different is. You just feel different. You call it good, stuff like that. So that's my biggest thing. It's like if you're gonna go vegetarian and vegan, just learn about nutrition because you literally might be damaging yourself more than you realize. Like the soy thing. Like my family was when my sister went when the church gave us meat, it was that soy stuff. I think that's why I didn't like it. It was way too freaking salty. And then the whole soy boy thing happened. Everyone was like,
soy boys.
You never heard of soy boy? Oh, yeah, not boys, of course. So there was a whole thing in social media for a while, like, oh, soy boy. When the guys started avoiding soybeans, there was something that blew up that it showed that it hurt men in some way.
Probably the reproductive.
Yeah, but I didn't know if that's what it was. I think it was that we found out soybeans have estrogen. So if you eat too much soy, you get increased estrogen, and that makes you a little girl. Yeah,
I don't know if that's the case.
Like I said, like this is like old news. Like 2 years ago, this was blowing up.
That's
so a lot of guys just were like, "Oh, you a soy boy? You eating that soy? Cause high estrogen levels, or maybe it was a reproductive thing. I don't know what it was exactly."
Hilarious.
But there was a whole. You didn't see that campaign? The hashtag soy boy. Look at hashtag soy boy. And then like I think what it was guys were getting boobs from eating too much soy because the estrogen levels have them increased.
Okay.
Unless you low testosterone already, you increase your estrogen.
Yeah.
It's kind of putting you in,
That's so funny.
Right? I think that's what blew it up. But I think that was like one person, one case. We're all like, you got titties from that?
That's.
Oh hell no! Hey mom, into that soy boy stuff. That's why guys drink soy milk. Like it's a very like thing.
That's so funny.
Yeah, a lot of guys. I don't know if it's still popular now. I know me. I went through that phase. I was like, oh, I'm voting all soy. Like, it did what to a boy? You got what? It make you emotional? What? Estrogen. I don't need more of that. I need testosterone, my brother. And that's why a lot of guys eat like nuts and stuff like that. Like nuts is really good for testosterone, and you get the idea.
That's so funny.
Yeah, there was like a big thing about soy boys for a while. So yeah, and let's say you're a vegetarian, all you use that soy stuff, you might be actually hurting yourself more than you helping yourself. You know, it's just people really just don't know. And then when they realize that's what they have to eat as a vegetarian, maybe they don't like seitan. Maybe they don't like hemp seed. Maybe they don't like protein powder, which is the biggest one is protein powder. I have a friend that's a vegan vegetarian. Her biggest issue that the protein powder tastes so bad, she just can't eat it.
Well, what is she using? Because I know pea protein tastes horrible. You just gotta drink through that. There's other options though.
I don't know which one she used. She asked me for advice. I'm like, I don't know nothing about no plant-based protein. I say drink the real protein and call it. I don't think, but she's vegan, so I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but it tastes horrible. I always hear crap about people drinking how bad it tastes. I'm like, okay, well, if you drink that, honestly, you'd be fine for the day, like whatever. But just lack of protein is very, very not good. And like I said, if you lose muscle, which means you're not eating enough protein, you will actually gain fat. That's why there's skinny fat. Skinny fat is when you look skinny, but it's like majority fat. It's just there's no muscle, so the fat takes place where the muscle would have been, and then you're still unhealthy. You know what I mean? So there's that thing too. That's why you'll see like girls when they first work out, sometimes if they're skinny fat, don't like explode with all these cuts everywhere. Cause they never had muscle before, and now they're like healthy and normal. Like, oh, I like this, you know what I mean? So stuff like that. It's a very common misconception. People just don't understand. I think nutrition and vitamins and stuff like that. They really just eat something different just because of a trend or
that, and like understanding your body too.
Yeah.
Because like I know a lot of like vegetarians and vegans will start eating a lot more green, saying they're gonna get all the nutrition and stuff like that. But same way our body isn't meant to like break down meat, our bodies isn't meant to break down the greens.
We don't have three stomachs.
Literally, yeah, we don't. Isn't it 5? Is it 3?
Cows, I think, have 4.
4. We don't have multiple stomachs to break down that stuff, so we're not even getting all the nutrients that we're supposedly supposed to be getting from eating all these greens and stuff like that.
Yep.
So variety in your meals is a big thing.
That's the thing. Yeah, I think the second point I was gonna point out was the evolution thing. Like, yeah, in the past as humans we used to be majority plant eaters, but we evolved quite a bit over time to eating meat. That's why our whole jawline has changed. Our teeth have changed. The wisdom teeth in the back. What's kind of what cows do? Because cows, they chew that all the damn greens all day, and their teeth like fall out and they just get new ones.
True.
That was the wisdom teeth originally were for just when you lose your teeth over chewing a bunch of times. That's what it was for. It's backup teeth.
Okay.
And now we don't need them anymore because we just evolved to just not have to chew green stuff all day. You know what I mean? And now we can eat meat and stuff like that. So like we've evolved a lot to get accustomed to eating the meat, just not large amounts like a lion and not large amounts like a cow. And it's like the balance. Like, it's a nice balance in the middle, but people don't get that. They just kind of freak out about the meat eating thing and like, I'm gonna just cut out all meat. It's like, you don't even eat that much meat in the first place to get sick from it. Probably, you know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with eating meat as long as you're detoxing. I think that's like the main thing. No one is cleansing because like you still get parasites and your body can't break down all of that meat. So it's there. You have remnants sitting in your colon. I know we talked about this already when we were talking about enemas and stuff. But like, just that's like the main thing. It's like eat whatever you want to eat. Just make sure you clean it out. Yeah,
and same with greens. At the place you work, don't they always have? They used to always have that E. coli breakout in the cabbage, right?
In the lettuce.
In the lettuce, right? So even plants, you gotta watch out for plants too. Yeah. Plants can get you sick. That's why my argument is always like, man, everything can kill you. Stop attacking one or the other and say this is better. Like, you gotta realize and really just understand. If you understand, it's all just emotional, then everybody's good. It's scientifically proven by a biased scientist probably too. Oh yeah, other articles, someone biased wrote that article about something. See, I'm already biased to my meat eaters, so I'll defend it like crazy and attack the plant eaters. You feel me? But
I'm attacked every day, guys.
No, she's not. But Panda, like, what do you think about people that don't eat meat because of animals? Like the whole animal cruelty thing?
Animal cruelty. I mean,
that's a big one.
It is like the main reason that I think people like go vegetarian or vegan. They're just like, oh my god, the animals. Ooh. I mean, it is. This is not to like make a dig at you guys. I'm so sorry, but like it was just that was like always like the main thing in my mind of like, oh, someone's vegetarian because like they don't want to like hurt animals and like and that's the reason why they don't want to consume meat, because like it is hard. Like we've seen like so many like documentaries and like there were books that were made talking about like the agriculture industry specifically with like cows and stuff and like how they were treated and like how like these dairy farms work and how like they have to do all of this stuff to like keep putting out, keep making cows, raising cows and like making whatever. And so like it was like a very uncomfortable thing to watch. Like I remember
you watched it?
I watched it. I had to watch it for like a psych class, I think.
They got me messed up.
Is it the what the health thing?
No,
it's
it
the
was
one
like
everybody vegan, bro.
it was based on this book. It's like Jungle something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know what the health was another one that made people stop eating meat.
Yeah, because like you look at like it was like someone that like was like undercover in like in a like a meat processing facility and like they just saw like how gross everything was, and I was like, oh my god, that's what I'm consuming. And then like someone like part of the documentary was that there was a person that was he ended up getting paralyzed because of a contaminant that was in the meat because it wasn't treated properly, that kind of thing. But yeah, that was like a one-off thing, but obviously like it has happened, like we should be more thorough about that kind of stuff. But
I mean, the whole world shut down because same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, but it's their own personal choice. Like obviously like some are like very, I'll say, passionate about it. They're just like, I don't want to touch anything that's like been near an animal. Like, yeah.
They don't want like fur coats.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, is that real leather?
Yeah. I've seen so many things of like, oh my god, like why, like how could you guys be wearing that? I'm just like, you do know like that fur coat you're wearing, that's real, right? And they're just like, oh my god, like they'll be like so like in pain or like in denial about it. And I don't know, it does get to an extreme and it does make it look a little too much. But like I understand that they have like a passion about it, I understand that aspect at the very least.
And that's the thing too. People don't realize if our ancestors never killed animals, we would not be here to this day. Us killing animals is what helped us get this far, putting fur coats on us and stuff like that, help us survive the cold, or just using animal products for years was another source of food because maybe the crops didn't grow that year because, rain and snow, we didn't have buildings to cover it, and then they had to kill and eat something that, would make them survive that season or whatever and stuff like that. And it's just like people really kind of like forget that. I think that's my thing with humanity right now. They kind of forget the past, what we went through as humans. And it's like this habit that you're fighting is a habit that's instilled in our DNA. When I see animals, that's why some of us don't care about animals like that. I feel like it's just they're not as important as a human. But then some people make dogs queens in their house. You know what I mean? Some dogs got like beds and like they got gold bowls. I'm like, that dog eat better. I've seen videos of dogs eat so good. I'm like, yo, I need to be a dog. That dog is a queen. Alright, bro, these dogs, man. In the Haitian people, we have a saying where, like, why would I get an animal?
What?
Haitian parents don't believe in getting pets because they're scared to go to jail for these pets.
Okay.
Whenever a pet is mistreated, they say you straight to jail. Bro, you slap a human in that nigga, but then you get like a distributor. You heard an animal, you going to prison. You know what I mean?
That's so funny.
Right? Haitians are terrified of having animal pets because they're so scared of going to jail for it.
I haven't heard that.
Really?
Actually.
That's
like the only thing that my mom's constantly telling me is like dogs are not meant to be inside. Like back in Haiti, it's like we had a whole bunch of dogs and they all stayed outside. Yeah. That sort of thing. But I never.
It's very common. You never heard of that phrase? Oh my! Every Haitian I know says that. Oh, you want a dog? I ain't going to jail. That's the first thing they think about is you mistreat a dog, you want to go to jail.
That's funny.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's
funny.
what I'm saying. The cultures we have now were cultures built from killing animals. So to kind of reverse all that is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's extreme how we treat the animals. I get it. But my argument is so funny. It's like, how about when the wolves be taking down them deers the way they do? I'm pretty sure that's not very nice. You know what I mean? Or how like lions kill the elephants. Like they rip their throats out. You know what I mean? And that's just the animal kingdom. You know, you have the praying mantis girl bites the head off of the male after impregnating her. Like the real world is cruel. And people, I think, have become desensitized because they lived in a bubble for so long and been so spoon-fed by everything. They no longer need to hunt and gather, so they just are now sensitive to that stuff at an older age when they're exposed to it. So I can understand the shock it might have to the brain, but I just like, if we never did that stuff, you would not be here right now to argue with me in the first place. You know what I mean? For human survival, it's all animal products. You feel me? It's just a lot of stuff. It's that's the thing. I just like, you like your iPhone? Oh, okay. Don't use your iPhone no more then. Animal products on your iPhone. No, there's not. Oh, want to bet? No, okay, I'll find it for you. You know, and stuff like that. You just don't want to realize and kind of get too crazy about it. It's always that those damn documentaries that get people. And I get it. It is nasty. It's gross. But like I said, plants have done the same thing to us for years. So there are plants that have always been recalled here and there throughout the year for having some type of virus that wasn't washed properly out. And everyone ignores that. They throw that out, throw the meat documentary, and then they say, oh my God, meat's so evil. And it's like, okay, whatever.
Well, I mean, when they show those, though, they show you literally, like, how they pump their stomachs with stuff.
Hey, please.
Pump the meat with, like, I feel like it's a little different than not washing something properly. It's just a little different.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not, like, you know, from my perspective, as far as, like, the whole vegan, vegetarian plus animal thing, I'm like, if I was not vegan or vegetarian, I'm not the one that killed it. That's just me, you know? Cows are the cutest things. They're like big dogs, and it's so sad that they have to die that way, but like me stopping eating meat is not gonna stop them from killing them. That's the way I see it. And they're like, oh, you know, if enough people stopped eating meat and stuff like that, well, good luck. Good luck. Tell them, go ahead.
And then like all these cows that aren't being eaten now, what's gonna happen to them? We're just gonna throw them in the wild? It's gonna ruin the ecosystem. You know, and people just don't get it. Like, that's what I'm saying. And a lot of the animals too, how do I say, they're damaging to the environment. That's why also it's the ecosystem thing. Like they call it CO2 or stuff like that because the cows. And it's like, that is true. Like eating meat has caused us to destroy our atmosphere, which is true. But now we have all these dang animals. We gonna do all of it. You want to pet chicken and cow? I don't think so. So it's either we eat all the cows and chicken we have now and don't do it no more in the future, or we let them all run free and we all go vegetarian and vegan like you want. Let's see what happens. Because all that's gonna happen is a lion or tiger is gonna be having a feast, boy. Them wolves, coyotes, everything, they're gonna have a freaking feast. Yeah. And you protect this cow, he's cute and all. The lion don't give a damn about, they're gonna rip his throat out, eat it while it's alive and everything. But they can do that. Oh yeah, the wolf can do that because they're like, what? Like, don't make no sense. Like, I get the world's cruel, you don't want to accept that, that's fine. Some people I know are like that. Some people don't want to accept that the world's cruel and evil and it's a beautiful place. Whatever you want to believe is what you believe. I don't care.
How do they even go about like not seeing the cruelty?
That's what I'm saying. The world is so cruel. The world's cruel. You can't control cruelty. No matter what you do, it happens everywhere. Like, I feel bad for plants. We out here massacring these plants. They got feelings too. When you cut grass and that grass smell, apparently that's the grass crying to the other grass to run away. Not run away, but
it's like a self-defense mechanism thing.
Right? So the plants have no feelings now too? I think plants have feelings. Y'all ignoring the plants' feelings? That's not fair. I'm just saying. Like, the fact that a lot of plants have defense mechanisms because they're not trying to be eaten either. Literally, bro. Like, plants not trying to get. Why do you think trees are so tall? They're making you work for killing it. You know what I mean? Right. I'm pretty sure a lot of plants have defense mechanisms. Like poison ivy has a defense mechanism, which is the poison ivy. Plants know we're killing them. They know. That's why a lot of them have, like roses have thorns and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of plants that develop defense mechanisms to stop being killed. Nigga, they know what's going on. They're not just dumb. It's just bananas and apples and pears are just the dumb fruits that didn't make any organism. But this thing, but they survive because we poop out the seeds. Well, that's what they thought. See, the apple's plan was we eat the apple and eat the seed and go poop the seed, and that poop turns into another apple tree reproduced.
But we throw away the apple.
And that's the bull crap. Now the apples are getting scammed.
How is it getting scammed?
Because the apple's like, we let you eat us
because
to
the seed
poop.
gets planted regardless.
Where?
You even though you don't eat and digest the seeds, you can still take out the seeds and plant them.
How many people you know do that?
I mean, agriculturally.
Even if you throw it away, it ends up somewhere and it becomes dirt at some point. It's
supposed to be. Well, that wasn't what the apple thought.
And
would
even
happen.
like with the shit. Well, yeah, but even with the shit, you shit in the toilet and it goes.
That's what I'm saying. Like these vegetarians that are attacking people on the
so
meat
funny.
thing. You gotta understand these plants. The way they're designed to be eaten certain ways. We're not doing that, so we're actually hurting these plants. You know what I mean? And the thing, if we have that many apple trees, I'm pretty sure something like the soil gets messed up now. If we have that many plants to freaking grow.
We have cleaner air.
And in exchange for worse soil, which ends up killing those. It's that you've seen that before.
Why would it make it worse soil?
But you don't know about agriculture.
If you plant too many trees.
If you plant,
more like if it's planted on the same lot, because it depletes all the nutrients that were stored in that soil.
Even
because
if
it's being
you care
reused.
for it, or
what you mean care? How are you gonna care for it?
What do you mean? The same way you do with any other plant.
I mean, it just.
It's not the.
It's not the same.
How do you explain it?
I don't know.
It's essentially. Have you heard of what's that farming style?
No, that's what I'm saying.
The double rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back in the day, that's the issue that happened to. I think Ireland went through that. I think was it Ireland with the potato famine? That's what happened.
I don't know if that. I know they had a potato famine. I'm not sure what caused it.
Okay. So to clarify, so you understand what I'm talking about, if you plant too many of the same plants on the same soil, even if you take care of the soil, the plants would. It's a lot. You have to put a lot of plants in that soil. It depletes the soil of its natural texture and nutrients. Okay. It's hard to put that back because soil doesn't just. It's not like you just. It's not like water. You just add water and it kind of goes back. Mm-hmm. Soil is a lot different. Soil is something that had to be dead things that got broken down to soil. Yes. To get the nutrients back, it's not a simple process of just adding a salt to it. You know what I mean? Got it. And with that many plants and roots everywhere, how do you do that without harming the trees, stuff like that? Mm-hmm. So what happened was crop rotation was created, where it's like they plant this season, remove it, put a different plant the next season, and keep doing that, changing the plants, so the soil never gets too depleted from that one plant of that one nutrient. That's an issue that happens too with all these plants being planted. We go vegetarian, but the amount of trees we're gonna need to plant all these plants would have to be crop rotation. Otherwise, that soil is gonna suffer, and stuff like that. But it's who has the resources to do all that? Removing all the tree, apple tree. You're gonna take the apple tree out the soil. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. No, that's a whole ass tree. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're gonna remove that whole ass tree. What you gonna do with it? You gotta make. There's a lot of tree, man, and you gotta put a whole new crop there. Take all that out and do it again. No farmer wants to do that. You know what I mean? Most farmers specialize in their own thing. Yes, there's fertilizer and stuff like that, but fertilizer is cow manure? How they make a lot of it?
It is, mostly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's okay, now there's no cows like y'all wanted. We can't use cows now. What's up? You know what I mean? It's there's no easy solution. It's just it needs a balance. That's my thing. People don't realize a lot of things about this plant stuff. Mm-hmm. No one's showing the side of that because because the meat eaters are just they don't know what they talking about. And I'm like, that's where I am too. I'm just man, there's no point to argue with them because I know it's all emotional. You cannot change their mind. They just don't want to eat no animal. And I get that. I'm not gonna force it down your throat. That's why if I date a girl or I have a friend that's vegetarian, as long as they don't force it down my throat, we're cool. Mm-hmm. I'm straight. But I think I told you this story too, where I have people that are vegetarian that won't let you cook meat even in their premises.
What is their reason?
They just don't want to see. It's like the girl that was crying. Some of them have such an emotional attachment to just seeing the meat. They just think dead animal. You killed that.
No, it didn't.
You know what I mean?
It was dead when it got here.
Yeah, so I had a friend that had a roommate that wouldn't let them cook meat in the house, or even cut it.
How did you?
They had to cut the meat in their room, and then cook it real quick before she got home. And then,
Oh no way.
yeah, I didn't tell you that.
No.
Yeah,
So funny.
yeah, yeah. And that's
What
something
else smells like meat though?
people like, huh?
How did they like air it out? Because I know meat is very fragrant.
That's why they just got in fights all the time. Cause the girl would just cry about it. I'm like, why you what like don't make no sense. Like, okay, you're a vegetarian. I get it. Don't bother my eating habits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's so dumb. And then they try to convince you. I'm like, no. And then there's that one girl. So they went to Miami to go eat some food, and it's a group of friends. And she never announced that it would be a problem. Everyone is like, oh, we're cool. We're gonna get some food in Miami.
Yeah.
Why you guys go to Miami? Then she refused to let them go to a restaurant that served meats, only vegan ones. And she was arguing with them why they don't want to go to a vegan restaurant. Like, oh, it's not that bad. It's good. She refused to go, and then it was a whole fight.
So why didn't she just go on her own?
That's what I'm saying. She tried to convince them to go with her because she didn't want to go alone in Miami to get food. Obviously, that friendship ended very quickly. She don't fuck with that girl no more. Period.
Wow.
And a lot of them stopped talking to her too after that trip because they were like, "What kind of, you know what I mean? Me? Oh, this is me. I would have bought meat. I would have left. They go to the vegan restaurant. I come back. I eat the meat in the restaurant just to be like, this man to kick it, boy. I'll be in the car driving back. I'll be like, beef jerky. Boy, this cow. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Pull out some milk. Oh, I'm thirsty. Like, I would be so petty. Because I'm like, do not freaking tell me I have to go to a vegan restaurant. Right. You didn't tell nobody in your restriction. No one, people knew that she was vegan, but didn't know it was like that. She was that kind of vegan. I'm like, boy, if you told me, boy, I would have been your worst nightmare on that. You would have been fist fighting at that point. Shoot, boy, that's just me. That's how petty I would get. Because this meat thing, vegetarian thing, I'm cool with it till you start trying to convince me. I'm like, oh, that's how you feel? Okay. Oh, yeah, I'll order a vegetarian dish with the beach. Why you do it away? Yes, that's her name. That bitch. I don't like her either. She got attitude, bro. For no reason. You just said hello. I'm like, oh, that's me. Like, these vegetarians are the ones I can't stand. The ones that got a whole, it's like their whole existence is based off of it. Like, they just can't, like, they look like a plant. You know what I mean? Like, they look like a plant. You know what I mean? Those are the ones I avoid.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. But yes. That's just, I'm sorry. See, it's such that I don't like to get into it no more. Just, if you're vegetarian vegan, don't tell me to do that because I'm going to get real upset real quick.
Right.
Yeah, this is, oh my gosh.
This is a passionate topic.
Right?
You were talking for a long time.
I'm so sorry, man.
You're good.
I'm just saying.
Let him know.
I would go to the restaurant, order the food, and throw it away. They go, hey, did that.
Why would you order the food?
Just to be petty. That's what I'm saying. Like, just if that girl did that to me, bro.
You're that level of petty.
I just can't believe you came on this trip. You really trying to convince us to go vegan, bro. We're in Miami. I'll go vegan in like Pennsylvania or something like that. It's fine. Hey, girl, I'm sorry.